This is American Beech, which is a very epic firewood. One of my favorites, if not my most favorite. This came down sometime this summer, probably a couple of weeks ago, out of a big tree. Big beech trees get these voids in them in the heartwood when they get old, and all these cavities where it just goes away. It makes great habitat, maybe the best habitat out there for owls and such, but it does make a weakened tree, so they can live for a long time, but sometimes a windstorm will snap a limb off or a trunk down. And I love it because I get firewood out of it. This was kind of on the side of the road, this old abandoned house. I called my neighbor who lives next door. He's kind of an old timer, and I said, you know, can I come get that? And he said, well, I don't know if it's on me or not, but just if anybody stops you, tell them I said you can get it. So I said, giddy up. Beech, it's one of those woods that splits kind of tree to tree. Sometimes it's really easy to split. Sometimes it's kind of, it's not twisted grain. It's still pretty straight, but sometimes it can kind of break off and not split straight. I mean, it's definitely twisty, but it's not stringy, I guess is what I meant. But I love it. It splits good. It's beautiful. It handles well. This is a no-glove wood. The bark's so smooth. Feels good. Good tactile feel. I'm struggling a little bit to split this round. The heart of it is about 50% spalted, which is the beginning of rot. But I wanted to kind of show you when that happens. Best way to do it is just get another piece of wood and knock your axe loose. These big wide axe like this will definitely get stuck more than a narrow profile, but it's so good at chopping up this kind of stuff, which beech is just really good to have. Beech kindling, because it burns so easy, it's so fast and hot. Great tool for that. It just kind of falls through that stuff. It's always worth getting the tops on beech. Oak I don't like because the bark flakes really battingly on oak. It makes a mess, but with beech, it just doesn't do that as much. This is a piece from last year. It's kind of like this year's. I mean, I could break it, but there's no flaking, so it's going to be really good stuff. I think it's always good to have a handful of that. I mean, I got softwood kindling and etc. Look at the grain twist on that. But this is definitely stove wood. This is, once it dries, it burns hot, it coals really, really well. I don't split this down as much And some other wood sometimes. Like hackberry, I'll split smaller. Even oak, I might split some of that smaller, but not the beech. I think that's a great 3 or 4 hour burn piece. Some of these are pretty small to be splitting, but like with that maple, if I split it now, there's a good chance that with this heat we're having, this will be ready to burn this fall. I don't need it for this fall, I've got plenty, but people ask me all the time for firewood, and if I have some of this that I can lean back on, then I don't mind selling them some of the hackberry. It's a good way to split a crotch too. When the crotch is down, starts down here, you can tell kind of which one's growing out and which one's the straight one. So this is the straight one. So I could split down the center of that pith or try it down here. But because the crotch is right here, it's not like in the middle of it or whatever, I just went right for right there because I know this is going to split really easy. And I got the big heavy sharp axe. So went right into that crotch wood right there and it just split great and easy. So let me show you that. String down here so you can see it's real smooth where I sliced through that wood, nothing holding it down here on either side, all this wood up here, but that easily split. So I cleft through those fibers and voila. Done. So like this is a weird one, it's got this big knot right here, knot down there. I would just go through the middle of that one. There's no science about that one really. There's no method there other than the straightforward. And it won't sit up, so I'll have to go this way. I had to kind of cut this stuff quickly. I was blocking the road. And for a road that nobody lives on, people go down it a lot. And out here that means full-size 4x4 pickup trucks that take up more lanes than the road has. So some of this stuff is kind of funky. And of course, if you do have a knotty wood, just keep your knot on one side. This is straight, so you know you can get at least half of it off. You could split this like that too, but it's not going to go as easily. This should go in one, maybe two. I'll see, it went that way more. I'm also to the left side of the pith, which didn't mean to be. But 2 strikes on the same spot. Done. Pretty tall block. I really should split it and go down one more, but it's kind of a short handle on an axe. It's not that big of a deal. And most of this stuff I split kind of short. This piece I didn't. See it twisting. This side is pretty straight. Okay, here's another one. This one, this would be, I would consider this the main branch. It goes all the way down, but trying to hit and split that way, it's not gonna happen. This one may work, but I'll just go right at it from this angle. Right where those creases are. You could go down here, but I like going right at it and slicing through all that. See what happens. Ooh, brutal. It's probably because there's a lot more, I don't know what that would be. The crotch is more spread out. That's enough of that. Couple swings if it doesn't work. Alternate methods are okay. Well, it's the fun thing about wood is sometimes you're just wrong about it because it grows inside and you can't tell. It's gonna split out on this one, not that one. Should be easy now though. This guy, I don't need him anymore. That wobbly blocks are dangerous anyway. This one's not splitting too good because of that twist and that spalt. So some guys are like, oh, this is easier. I'm splitting wood. This is the easy way to do it. Get the splitter out here and split. Kind of the way I look at this is it's really not supposed to be easy. And the more things you do to make it less hard, easy, the more you detract from what you're doing. I mean, I want it to be hard work. I want to sweat. I want to hurt afterwards. I want my hands to be sore, roughed up a little bit. I want to sweat. I want to get a workout. I think people have tried to make things easier too much in this world. So I like doing stuff kind of, I guess the hard way? I don't know. I don't think it's hard. Maybe the laborious way would be a better way. Some woods when they get punky like this are no good, but not my beech. Burn just fine. Big chunky pieces. Okay, got a little pile of stuff here, little stuff here. That big guy out of the way. Look at this. This is rotten, all the way rotten in the middle. This is off a limb that had a hole in it, and that hole let all this moisture in and rotted it. But stuff on the outside's great. Nothing wrong with it. moist. Definitely having to swing a little harder. Than usual. That's okay. Good with me. The Beech is the oh wow. Rain, I think. It's been so long. Summer 22, when I'm filming this, it's extremely dry. Driest it's been in 30 or 40 years. Well, since 1988, so 30 years. We got trees dropping leaves in the middle of summer. So kill many. Well, it'll kill some, I guess. I don't know if many is the right way to put it. They'll definitely, some will live through it, but it's pretty unprecedented. Doesn't have much. Swing. You know, I think I'm gonna raise back up. Not with that. A little lumpy. Bumpy. I guess that's all I got to say about beech. It's really good firewood. It's a really good habitat wood. It does create the beech nut. For those of you who know what beech nut chewing tobacco is, well, the beech tree gave us the beech nut. But it's definitely, in my opinion, it is the most beautiful hardwood that I've ever seen in the world, much less in my area. It's got this smooth bark that idiots like to carve their initials. It's got these leaves that are thick. They grow thick. They are very hardy leaves. In the summer when they're alive, they're very deep forest green, and then in the fall, these are dead, so this isn't like fall ones. These have just turned brown, but in the fall they turn a chestnut golden color, and so that against the bark is just really nice, and the tree keeps their leaves on all winter long. But they're a little bit less, you know, they don't create the same canopy once the fall is hit, so they're a little bit more open. In the summertime, the canopy is complete. They're an understory tree when they're young, which some people don't like, but I don't know what else you'd want to grow there besides a beech tree. They do provide the beech nut habitat cavities. And in spring, the new buds roll out like these spear tips, these golden spear tips. I mean, it is really neat to see the transition of this tree, if you're a tree person like me. And not to mention the firewood is epic. Beechwood was traditionally used also as the stock for, and still is, the stock for woodworking tools. Plane bodies, chisel handles, stuff like that. beech was, and I think still is, the chosen wood. Pain. And for a good reason. It is dense, hard, twisty sometimes. All those are good for low impact or high impact, I guess. Moderate impact. I don't know, you don't really impact a lot with a plane, but you need it not to move. It needs to be stable. Bam. When we first bought this place, the house built in '48 on it. It was framed in sawmill beech 2x4s, true 2x4s. The house was rough, solid bones obviously, but no insulation, infestation, etc. So we tore it down, but I saved a lot of that lumber. I made a couple of doors, cabinet stuff, table. Pretty neat. That's all that needs. But it's pretty neat to see that. All I've ever seen is 2x4 pine, stuff like that. I've ever heard of, but back in the old days, I guess. So I got to this just in time too. I'll show you this. I don't know if you can see or not, but these castings are some wood boring insect has made these holes and either pushed that out or it's a fungus that's growing out. It just depends on what it is, but obviously this is dying because it had fallen, and so nature went right to work. The good news about this drought we're having is that this didn't rot anymore on the ground. Beech is like hackberry or maple. It's on the ground. You better get it quick or it will rot. I just didn't even look at that when I hit it. It almost split all the way down, but perfectly wrong angle there. Walnut, oak, locust, even cherry. They're very forgiving if they're on the ground. Beech, hickory, maple, not so much. They will rot, or at least get punky enough to where they're just not good for heating wood. They may be good for like bonfire wood or something. Okay, last piece, I think. Nope, one more after this. It's a triple crotch. Man, that thing's really wobbly. I usually don't have a wobbly block like this. It's kind of a big no-no in my book, but just didn't have a lot to do. The other thing about when you have wood that's a little difficult is two things. One, if I just swing the axe every time over and over again, using the same muscles the same way over and over and over and over again, and they get adapted to that. But if you gotta use other muscles differently, like when the axe gets stuck, then you get better overall strength. Might not be as much in those places, but still, every little bit counts. And the other thing it makes you do is slow down a little bit. I mean, if you just had a bunch of stuff that split with one swing, you'd be done. You know, you go through like those guys who have two axes in their hands and run around and split all the wood. Well, that's not sustainable. But if your axe gets stuck, you gotta stop, get it out. So there's benefits to it all. All right, I'll split this little guy and then call it.